Hello again. This morning I'm going to be working on another acrylics on craft paper because I might want to make another journal that's a little bit larger. So I have, using the lines on this mat, it's going to be about, this penciled in rectangle is about 14 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 by 14. I'm not going to fill in that much, not going to use that much of the paper, but I'm going to paint on it. So in order to start getting this paper ready, I'm going to do it the way I usually do. I'm going to start with some Liquitex gesso and put the underlayer down with a credit card, because that way it will be nice and thin and dry fast. And we only need this basically to protect the paper and of course make the final book cover more pliable. I used to just put the acrylic on the paper, and I have found that if I do it this way, using a secondary source, that I have a chance to keep this craft paper a little bit flatter, because this card applies a lot less paint than a brush or any number of other things I might want to try. Learning by doing, the joy of art. I wanted to share with you that I spent the best part of the last day and a bit repositioning the drawers in my studio, because now that I'm doing and enjoying junk journals, and I have so many so many supplies, so many more than I had prior to that, that I had to rethink the drawer system. And while doing that, in for a dime, in for a dollar, I decided to look at every piece of paper that was there, and I culled out papers from scrapbooking pads and so forth, ones that I knew that I would use, that I would want to use, and I separated them in the drawers by color and size of the paper, and I took the ribbons and the laces and the findings, etc., and the fabric, and I went to the dollar store and purchased some bins to keep that in, because the drawers were getting full, and there's no point in having things in a drawer if you can't see what's there. So, alrighty. First round. On this paper, instead of doing a yellow background, I'm going to do a skyish color background, just because it will go nicely with whatever ends up on the painting. Blue Jay, Ceramcoat Blue Jay, will go on top of this after it dries a bit, and I help it along. Now that's quite dry enough, so I'm going to put on the background color for the final piece. this is just something that has evolved for me. I originally saw this sort of thing done by Donna Downey on her paintings. She likes to apply red, and I tried that, and then for some reason I switched to yellow because I just thought I wanted sun under my painting. And this time I thought, well, if you can do red, if you can do yellow, how about having some sky under there just for fun? Why not? The first few of these that I had done, many of you in your comments had asked me what I was going to do with them. And my answer was, I don't know, I'm just doing it because I need to learn to make these tube acrylics, which I have out now, to make them work and to satisfy me and to learn from them. And, well, lo and behold, I had a brainstorm and used them, two of them, as covers for my first two handmade journals. And I'm so happy to say that they sold almost immediately. So I thought, well, let's try doing this because it's unique to me, and this is so much fun. Just this doing is just an art joy. Well, more drying time, and I'm going to first, before I go and clean up, I'm going to get out some colors. So, what will we have here? Well, always some Titan Buff. This can get put away. This can get put away. Some medium magenta, absolutely necessary. Some Prussian blue for dark. Some Quin magenta. Some brilliant purple. Just colors that are happy making. Some cerulean. Hooker's green. Cad yellow light. We'll go over here. Oh yes. Some aqua green. Some brilliant yellow green. Here and here. And, of course, absolutely some white. And some black. So, but I'm going to leave these here because I do tend to like to use some of these golden Quin crimson and alizarin and Quin magenta. Oh, and I almost can't get along without Indian yellow. And where are you hiding? That's teal, where are you hiding? Well, where is my quinacridone, nickel, azo, gold. So, I'm going to start the drying process, and I'm going to go with my husband because I want to hit Hobby Lobby for some, I want to look for some acrylics and not acrylics, goodness gracious, in my mind, some fabrics and so forth, and then there's a very big Michaels where we're going, in fact one of the biggest Michaels I've ever seen on this planet, and maybe a little bite of lunch, and then I'll come back and this should be dry enough for me to begin. I wish you were able to feel how wonderfully flat this has gotten, because it was given about 2.5 or 3 hours to do its thing. And I've also decided that I'm going to really work this, because my goal is fun, I'm going to work this as layers. So, at first I'm going to use some Stays-On Royal Purple. There you went. There we go. Now, royal purple, and I'm going to put some marks, some layers of marks. And the first thing is going to be this just because I can, and I want to, and I love doing it. Okay, so we have some Stays-On. Okay, so we have Stays-On in royal purple. And teal blue. I don't know if this is going to show that greatly, but a little bit, yes. Good. And now some cherry pink. Done. Okay. Layer number 1. And now I have my Target paints, my metallic new penny, metallic sterling, and metallic steel. And I am going to do some more playing. I've gotten out some of these stamps. Let's see. just see what we can get to happen. Very nice. Now this might show or might not show on the end, but and maybe some of this one. Sometimes things work so nicely when you're playing. Well, sometimes they do. I was going to get out my Thurber book, but I decided no. There we go. And now some sterling. And I'm going to spread that right out over the top of the new penny. There we go. And one up here. A little more right here. As I said, this is probably going to disappear, but that's okay. Well, I can't stand to waste that. Thurber is coming out. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Good. Very good. And last but not least, no, not that one. Too dark. Using 20 karat gold instead. And maybe right there. Definitely right there. And the when I pull it up, the dimensionality of the acrylic maintains a very, very nice shape. And let's have one over there. And some down here. And definitely some here. Now I have some cleaning up to do. Isn't this going to be a beautiful piece of paper to play with? Sometimes I turn these papers into focals because they're just so happy making. Now, shall I do the one more before I wash up? I was going to put some lines on here. No, I think I'm going to wash up, get some of the paint off here. But I don't make myself crazy doing it. I just get off what is willing to come. And I will be back because I want to put some lines on with my Prussian just to give this a little bit more strength. So, the next layer, the Prussian blue. And this piece of corrugated that I'm trying to build up some layers of paint on for use in my junk journal. So this is going to help me now here and there. Ah, yes. Maybe just a little bit here. And maybe a little bit here. And a bit up here. Now, as I said, a lot of this could disappear also. Good. So, I'm going to try laying on some more thicknesses of acrylic and letting that dry. So that's going to go in a quiet spot to dry. And the next step is I'm going to be getting ready to put on my design. But this is going to need time to dry because I want it to get to that lovely flat state, and I want some of these bumps. I want some of these dimensional bumps of acrylic to have a chance to dry right down to the bottom. So I'm going to give this a few hours, and isn't this turning out a treat? This is going to be such fun. I'm glad that I did these 3 layers, but I'm particularly happy with the effect of those fabric stamps. Okay, when this is as dry and flat as it's going to get, then I will return. I'm popping back to share, as I know that many of you saw these lines were a learning experience again for me, because I did not stand when I laid them down, and they were a little bit like this, not straight. So, how to fix when you're in a pickle. Getting out of it can sometimes take a little cogitation, but what I did was I sized off a journal that I had, and since I will be using this when it's finished as a cover on a handmade journal, I just maximized any possible size that I might want to use. So let's say the front and the back, or it could be front, back. That's not the point. I made sure that I got my outside measurements. It'll probably be much smaller in reality, but it's here. I used my red angle ruler and got these measurements straight. I used some of my charcoal Ceramcoat paint, put it on the edge to give myself a visual frame, because and check to make sure that the lines that are now here were vertical to the edges of the front and back covers, and they are, so that was my solution to that problem. As you can see, this is still quite in the drying stage, so that I'm going to stop. But I also wanted to share with you that I had that blob of Prussian blue paint down and on here, and I decided to use it on a piece of my Thurber paper, and look at the lovely, this was my Joe Sonia Gold. It was on this page, and I decided, well, let's just put some of this delicious, beautiful Prussian blue shade, very, very dark blue-black, beautiful shade, but definitely blue. on this. And here again I have another future painty paper that should come in very handy. Well, I'm sorry, down a rabbit hole I went. This is now going to wait to dry, and at least I will be working. I think I'm going to leave this. Yes, I think I'm going to declare this the front, now that I look at it, because there's going to be something all on top of that. But yes, I think so. I do think so. That should help me think through the art that I added to the top. So I will be back when this has a good opportunity to get dry, because some of these are still, they are dry to the touch on the top, but they are certainly not dry down to the paper, and I want them to be before I start arting on them.